Hi, good evening, everybody. Trust we are all fine. Sorry for the delay. Good evening, everybody. Trust we are all fine. Trust we are all fine. Please kindly invite somebody. Tell that person we've started. Sorry for the delay. We'll be starting now. We'll be starting now. We okay. Yeah. So without wasting time, right? Um, without wasting time, right? Would be inviting Seyi Bolaji. I'm so sorry that we had to delay a little longer, technical issues, right? But then the whole essence of today's meeting is to talk about purpose and how we can find purpose, right? Is to talk about how we can find purpose. But without wasting time, um, we would love to bring Mashe Bolaji up. I don't know if she can hear me. All right. So, good evening, Ma. Good evening, Ma. Can you hear me? Good evening, Ma. Can you hear me? Good evening, Ma. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is loud and clear.
All right. Sorry for the delay. We had a little technical issue, and that was what happened. But then, without wasting time, we'll be going straight into today's event, right? So, back to what we spoke about, right? I would love you to introduce yourself. I would love to know who is Seyi Bolaji. I would love to know, we, the
No
audience, would love to
problem.
know
That's
who
fine.
you are. Yes, ma'am. So, up to you.
No worries. Now, is everything sorted now?
Yes.
I feel
I feel
like the
like
line
the
is
line is
breaking.
breaking.
I could
I could
barely hear
barely
you.
hear
I'm
you.
just trying
I'm
to
just trying
repeat
to
the
repeat
words
the
you're
words you're
saying.
saying.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
I
I
guess we'll
guess we
just
just
get
get
right
right
into
into
this. It's a
this. It's a
little
little
bit
bit
over the
over the
time we're
time we're
supposed to
supposed to
start,
start,
but
but
because
because
of the
of the
technical
technical
issues,
issues,
if
if
you
you
ask
ask
me
me
to
to
say
say
who I
who I
am,
am,
or who is Seyi
Bolaji.
Bolaji.
I
I
guess
guess
there's
there's
a lot
a
of
lot of
things
things
that
that
people
people
say,
say,
but I
but
would
I would
rather
rather
not
not
go
go
by
by
those
those
titles. I would
titles.
rather
I'd
not
rather
go
not go
by
by
those
those
things
things
that
that
people
people
say,
say,
but
but
I'll
I'll
just
just
tell
tell
you
you
a
a
story
story
and
and
tell
tell
you
you
that
that
I'm a
I'm a
Christian who
Christian who
believes
believes
that
that
every
every
opportunity
opportunity
God
God
gives
gives
is
is
meant
meant
to
to
serve
serve
people.
people.
And
And
this
this
belief
belief
has
has
shaped
shaped
several
several
decisions that
decisions that
I've
I've
taken.
taken.
And
And
over the
over the
years,
years,
it has
it has
led
led
me
me
to
to
public
public
service,
service,
development
development
work,
work,
communications,
communications,
youth
youth
engagement.
engagement.
And
And
currently,
currently,
I
I
work
work
as
as
a
a
programs and
programs and
also a
also a
communication
communication
manager
manager
at
at
Stand with
Stand
the
with the
God
God
Initiative,
Initiative,
where I
where I
design
design
programs
programs
and
and
also
also
tell
tell
stories
stories
that
that
create
create
opportunities for
opportunities for
women
women
and
and
girls
girls
to
to
live
live
their
their
best
best
life.
life.
I
I
also
also
founded
founded
Project
Project
Educated
Educated
Child
Child
Campaign
Campaign
because
because
I
I
know
know
that
that
education
education
is
is
something
something
that
that
every
every
child
child
deserves.
deserves.
But
But
not
not
just
just
education,
education,
but
but
quality
quality
education
education
is
is
something
something
that
that
every
every
child
child
deserves.
deserves.
And
And
seeing
seeing
children
children
receive
receive
learning
learning
materials
materials
from
from
that
that
is
is
something
something
that
that
makes
makes
the
the
work
work
matter
matter
to
to
me.
me.
I
I
feel
feel
very
very
happy
happy
doing
doing
that.
that.
So
So
if
if
you
you
say
say
who's
who's
she,
she,
I
I'll
probably
probably
just
just
run
run
you
you
through a
through a
number
number
of
of
the
the
things
things
that
that
I
I
do,
do,
but
but
most
most
importantly,
importantly,
just
just
tell
tell
you
you
that,
that,
oh,
oh,
I'm a
I'm a
Christian who
Christian who
believes
believes
that
that
every
every
opportunity God
opportunity
has
God has
given
given
you
you
is for
is for
you
you
to
to
serve.
serve.
But at
But
the
at the
center
center
of
of
it
it
all
all
is
is
I am
I am
someone who
someone who
wants to
wants to
leave
lead
people,
people,
who
who
wants to
wants to
leave
lead
community or
community or
system
system
better than I
better
met
than I
it.
met it.
So
So
basically,
basically,
that's
that's
who I
who I
am,
am,
or
or
that
that
is
is
who
who
Sheyi
she
is. If
is.
you
If you
say,
say,
oh,
oh,
who is
who is
Sheyi?
she?
And then I
And
get
then
to
I get
talk
to talk
about
about
who I
who I
am.
am.
But
But
since
since
today we're
today we're
going
going
to
to
be
be
talking
talking
about
about
purpose,
purpose,
and
and
now
now
I
I
would
would
say,
say,
why
why
did
did
I
I
realize
realize
that
that
I
I
am
am
living
living
on
on
purpose,
purpose,
or
or
why do
why do
I
I
think
think
that
that
I
I
am
am
living on
living on
purpose? Why do
purpose?
I
Why do I
think
think
that
that
this
this
life
life
that
that
I
I
have
have
is
is
purposeful?
purposeful?
It's
It's
not
not
a
a
single
single
dramatic
dramatic
event,
event,
not
not
like,
like,
okay,
okay,
so
so
you
you
just
just
wake
wake
up
up
today
today
and
and
like,
like,
oh,
oh,
this
this
is
is
very
very
good.
good.
You're
You're
living
living
in
in
purpose
purpose
already.
already.
It's
It's
not
not
that.
that.
It's
It's
not
not
that
that
dramatic, right?
dramatic, right?
So growing
So
up,
growing up,
I
I
thought
thought
purpose
purpose
would
would
come
come
with a
with a
lot
lot
of
of
noise,
noise,
right?
right?
Where you're like,
Where you're
ah,
like,
this
this
person
person
is
is
this
this,
person
this
is this, this
person
person
is
is doing
doing
something. Well,
something.
maybe
Well,
part
maybe
of it,
part of it,
yeah.
yeah.
But
But
then
then
it is
it is
not
not
even
even
something
something
that
that
would be
would be
so
so
loud
loud
at
at
some
some
point.
point.
And
And
then
then
I
I
began
began
noticing
noticing
that
that
there are
there are
certain
certain
things
things
that
that
moved
moved
my
my
heart,
heart,
and
and
they
they
were
were
constantly
constantly
like
like
the
the
same
same
thing.
thing.
I
I
could
could
not
not
ignore
ignore
children
children
who
who
were
were
denied
denied
education.
education.
There
There
was
was
something
something
about
about
seeing
seeing
children
children
who
who
were
were
not
not
going
going
to
to
school.
school.
There
There
was
was
something
something
that
that
would
would
just
just
click
click
if
if
I
I
see
see
children
children
who
who
do
do
not
not
have
have
quality
quality
educational
educational
materials.
materials.
I could
I
not
could
look
not look
away
away
from
from
girls
girls
whose
whose dreams are cut short by the circumstances they did
dreams
not
are cut
choose.
short by the
Because they
circumstances
should
they
have
did not
better
choose,
lives.
because they should
So
have
it was
better
more like a
lives.
pattern,
So
right?
it was
And
more
then I
like a
was following
pattern,
it.
right? And
I
then
was
I
like,
was following
okay,
it.
okay,
I was
what
like,
is this like?
okay,
But
okay, what
it
is
kept
this like? But
occurring at
it kept
different
occurring at
points. And so whenever
different
I found
points.
myself in
And so whenever
rooms
I found myself
where
in
people needed
rooms
someone to
where
organize
people
something,
needed someone
people
to
needed
organize
someone to
something, people
communicate,
needed someone
to
to
encourage or
communicate, to
to create
encourage or to create
solution, I
solution,
naturally
I
just
naturally just get
those
into those
positions,
positions.
whether it was
Someone
someone
asking
asking
me
me
to
to
do
do
it,
it,
or
or
whether
whether
I
I
just
just
found a need.
found
So
a
it was
need.
like,
So it
oh,
was
I
like,
see
oh,
a
I
need
see
for
a need for
something, and then
something,
I
and
fix
then I
it
fix it
because
because
it's
it's
important.
important.
And so I
And so I
realized one day
realized
that
one
this
day
is a
that this is a
pattern,
pattern,
and God has
and
been
God has
using
been
this
using
same
this
gift
same gift
in
in
different
different
places in different dimension with different people. And so it's now dawned on me that, oh, maybe that is purpose, right? And we do not, it's not recognized in hindsight. You don't see it really. So, and for me, it was just on and on and on and on. And I was like, okay, I could, is this what God wants me to do in my life? Right. And I discovered that God has been writing the story all along. Or maybe I wasn't just paying attention to it, to know that my responsibility was just to say yes whenever I opened another door. Because I was already into it, I was working into what I am called to. Everything that I do right now is what I want to do. Like, I think I help people that it's the reason that on the days when I get tired, when I'm tired, when I wake up, and I don't want to go
and I
to
don't want
work.
to
I
go to
remember my
work. I remember
why,
my
why I started
why,
this
why I
work,
started this work,
and I just
and I
get
just get
into
into
it.
it.
And
And
again,
again,
I tell people
I tell
that
people
I do not
that I
work
do
for the
not
money.
work for
Money
the
is
money. Money
important.
is
All of us
important.
need
All of
money.
us need
I
money.
need money to
Need
be able
money
to
to
meet
be
my
able to
needs.
meet my needs.
I need
I
money
need
to be
money to
able
be able
to
to
fund the
fund the
projects that I
projects that I
do.
do.
But money
But
is
money is
not the
not
main
the main
reason
reason
why
why.
I work. Yes, I earn from my work. I get paid from the work that I do. Yeah, it's important, but that is not it for me. Overall, it's I would say that the reward that comes from the work is something that I see that just keeps me going. And what is that reward? The girl's life is changed. The child is in school and they can continue working in that part because, oh, there was something I did. There was a day I woke up and said, oh, Sheyi, you're going to start Project Educate a Child campaign. You're going to provide educational materials for children. And today I look back and I'm like, oh, it's been years. And now we have over 11,000 children who have been reached. This is truly something that I want to do in my life, right? So it's not questionable if I am working in that part or not. It is what I want to do in my life. I have seen results in it, but most importantly, it is what God says to continue because at different points in your life, you have to do different things. And young people also, we explore things. So let me tell you, there was a Sheyi who would do spoken word, who would write poems. I still do all of those things because these are like skills that I have or things that I know how to do. And times when I want to do them, when I am free, I get into them. So I still moderate events and there's a whole lot not to go into. There was a time I used to make necklace, I used to make earrings and necklace. Like these are like different things that I've done with my life at different points in time. Can I still do those things? Yes. But have I narrowed down to do certain things at this point of my life? Oh, these are the things that I want to do right now, right? To narrow it down to be, oh, this is this exact thing that I want to get. This is how I want to keep moving on with my life. This is how I want to keep going, right? But maybe we'll talk more about it as we move on to how did I even narrow it down to this. It's basically having a conversation with God. I think that I was telling someone the other day that for me and God, we sit down, we're like, okay, so how do you want me to do it this way, right? So yeah, follow this way. This is how we get it done. It's a conversation. And when I'm in very crazy period of my life, downtimes, I also go back to God and ask certain questions like, okay, this is what I said I wanted to do with my life. This is what you told me to proceed with. And it looks very unclear at this point. And I get clarity and I get the confidence to keep pushing and going into that. And this will take me to talk about the fact that if purpose is something you discover or is something that people build, from everything that I've been sharing, right, you would get to understand that purpose is something that you discover, is also something that you build. So it is both. It can start off from different points. It can come off at different timing. But what is it exactly? Now God plants purpose within us. He would hardly give you the finished picture. So God is not going to say, Shay, come, take, collect, this is your future. Go. Mm-mm. I have to make certain things work. I have to do a number of things. I would not expect myself to speak the way I speak right now if I don't have certain level of education, right? So certain things needs to work. By the way, I studied English. I also switched into comms. That helps the work that I do. That is me aligning with what I have been called to do and working towards that. Did I take a step towards it? Yes, I did. I had it in me, yeah. But then I still had to do something. I still had to get some work done. I still had to ensure that I was moving in that light or in that particular thing to ensure that, oh, there's a result that is coming from it. So, like I said, God plants purpose in us, but then He would rarely hand it to us in that finished picture because we have to keep working towards getting that perfect picture or what we want to see. So we discover purpose as we continue to work with God, as we build with obedience. Oh, God says this. It was God who said, as far as your eyes can see. Yeah. And it actually looks somehow, because Okay, oh yeah, go, Shay. Where am I going to? I don't know. But as far as my eyes can see, what if I get lost? But there's that confidence that I have because it's God and because I have to obey God, right? I have to keep moving. There's also the place of consistency of growth, and that's why I said it's both. It is that you build it, it is that, oh, it comes with you, but you also build it. Many people are waiting for complete clarity before they start certain things. Experience has shown me over the years that clarity comes when you're ready moving, when you're ready doing something. It doesn't come at the beginning. If I have to start something today, maybe I'm unclear about it, but I'm sure that this is what I want to do. I am going to start it. As I continue, it becomes clearer. I always tell people that the best way to know how to do something is to start that thing. So if somebody comes to me and like, oh Sheyi, I want to speak a certain way, Sheyi, I want to write a certain way. I'll tell them just do one thing. Start writing, start speaking. When you start, it gets better. I write every day of my life. And it is a vote on the better writer that I want to be. So I work towards that. And then I ensure that, oh, this is consistency. And it leads into growth for me. In terms of my work, there's certain things I have to do over and over again just so that, oh, I'm sure that I'm being consistent in this. And then it leads to growth. That I have it, oh, I know that this is what I want to do with my life. Does not mean I'm going to sit in my house and say, okay, after all, this is it. God already told me that this is what I want to do in my life. I have to get some work done. You have to do and just start. Once you start, you would learn when you are in it. You would clarity in it. Your eyes will be open while you're in it. You would make mistakes while you're in it. But the truth of the matter is you're also going to grow and get to see that perfect picture or that place that is expected or where you're supposed to be. Every opportunity, every challenge, and every season becomes another piece of that purpose that you have. It makes you, it is not just one thing. Opportunity, challenges. So the good times, the not so good times, or let's even call it what it is, the bad times, if we have to call it that. Yeah, when it's not clear, when it looks like the world is falling against you, and you're like, okay, today I wake up, I'm tired of this job, I don't want to do it again. You still have to continue because this is the work that you've collected. We do not do part time in this part. We don't do that here. If it is your purpose, it's your purpose. You have to continue working in that light. You have to continue going. It is you that had agreement with God, right? And this is what you want to do with your life. So you're not going to do part time because you cannot be here and there. You have to be in one place, and then you have to keep working towards that and moving and ensuring that, oh, this is how exactly you want to continue moving. Now, looking back, I see that none of the things I've had to do over time are wasted. Remember, I was sharing earlier that there was me who was on stage at when I was as far back as I was a teenager who would do spoken word. There was me who was doing necklace, who was doing earrings. There was it's just been a lot. I've had to do a number of things in my life, and yeah, they're quite related to the things that I do right now. And I started narrowing it down to what I currently do. And I would basically tell you, oh, I advocate for three of the SDGs in terms of everything that I do, even when I'm doing programming, comes first for me. Communication, how exactly am I able to communicate this thing that I do, but beyond just communicating that, how it is perceived. So as a communication strategist, it affects the work that I do or impacts the work that I do, whether I am trying to ensure that children have access to quality education. That also comes in from me. So I'm narrowing it down to things. But all of the things I've done before are not waste. I know that one thing that young people would ask is, oh, I do a number of things, right? How do I narrow it down? And oh, Nigeria, you have to also you have to do a number of things. You have to do that. Now, all of those things you're doing, they're not wastes. It's fine to keep doing certain things until you find what you want to do exactly because you will try so many things in this life. So many things in this life until you get to that point where you want to be. And so it's not waste, it's not a problem, it's not a challenge to try out those things. It's not like, oh, it doesn't make sense. You will. But there come a time in your life that see, if you continue to run like this, you do this one, you do that one, there's going to be problem. You're going to be tired. And aside that, you're not going to be known as an expert. if you look around the world, if you look around you, people who we, I mean, success is very relative, yeah. But the people who are termed successful, you just know that there's one thing that you're pointing to for them. This person is successful because of this. This person is successful because of this, right? Something they have to do. You have to narrow it down. Do I still moderate events? I do. Do I have my skill of spoken word? Yes, I do, but I would not accept an invitation now that is making me come and do spoken word. I am going to do referral. I think this person can. You can reach out to them. And I've noticed over the years, maybe in the last few years of my life, not so far, in the last 3 years of my life, of places where I would be invited to moderate an event, I now serve as a speaker. I had to narrow down my work and to move to the extent I want to become and to become an authority in the space that I have built for myself. I am still building for myself. And so, if I do not see myself as that yet, people are not going to see me as that. If I still jump through a number of things, which is what we do as young people, it's not a bad thing. I'm still even figuring out my life right now. Yeah. But then I know what I want to do in life and I work in that part already. And so it is not to waste all of those things that I have to do, even things I did not understand at the time. They prepared me for what I am today. My experience at the radio station prepares me for the work that I have now and for every other work. My work while I was in public service also impacts the work that I do now. Just a number of things. So purpose is not built in a day. It is built one faithful decision at a time. The day you woke up, I said, I'm going to do this. The day you had a conversation with God, the day you prayed, the day you read your Bible, you're trying to understand certain things about what am I called to do. Or like, oh, am I called to solve problems? This is what I want to do in my life. And then you continue to go over and over again until it looks like it's the big picture that you want. So for someone who is confused right now and oh, what is the first step or the practical step to uncover purpose or to know if this is purpose for you? What I'll tell you, slow down, calm down, like relax, but slow down enough to listen. I think we're fast losing that culture of listening. And how do we listen? We live in a world that constantly tells us who we should become. So it's difficult to hear God's voice in between all of this noise. God says, Sheyi, walk this way. And then I now go out, I now meet my friends and other people. They're doing very nice things. So, there's money in this thing. Oh, this thing makes sense. It's very good. I'm like, okay, maybe I should follow them. Maybe I should just do what they are doing. This is what is paying young people now. Maybe me too, I should start. Mm-mm. That is not it. You would want to have because you're human and these are like people like you, right? It's also a normal thing to be influenced by your peers or the world. But then what is God saying? God says, go this way. This is where I'm going to go to. God says, Sheyi, as far as your eyes can see, this is it, right? But then it's not clear yet. But this other part, this is my friend. That one looks very clear. Maybe I should try. Maybe that's where God is calling me to. Mm-mm. You have to calm down and listen to what God says to you. So if you do not, it becomes very difficult. And how do we do that? Spend time with God. It is not 5 minutes. So quick example, if I have a friend and I have to call my friend and we just talk for 1 minute. Hi, my friend, how are you? She says, I'm fine, thank you, Sheyi, and that was it. Communication, it happened, yeah? And then I have another friend and I call and we start talking. Hi Shay, how are you? I'm fine. Oh, this morning I went out, I went to do this, so I did. And before you know, we spent like 30 minutes. Now what will be the difference? I spent time with one. I basically just said hello to one and that's it. Now the one that I spent time with, the one I had enough time conversing with, that we had to talk over and over again, it's going to make more sense. There's some certain things I would get from the person. There's certain things the person is also going to get from me. That's because we spent time talking. It's the same thing with you and God, with me and God. If I do not spend time with God, I'm not going to understand certain things. That is the truth. Same as you. So pray, because if you do not pray, There's going to be problem. There are many problems in the world. There are trials and tribulation. I took a work on Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. I think I have this thing that I started months ago. Once it's 5 p.m. I don't close at 5 p.m. by the way, because I still would have other things to do. And when the office is very quiet, I would pick up a number of things very quickly. So at 5 p.m., I would get off my desk when some of my colleagues are leaving. I would take a work. And while taking the work, I just have this thing of looking at things around me, appreciate nature. So when I was working on Wednesday, I had some thoughts and I was thinking about problems. I was thinking about worries. But then, I was just like, they actually do not, the fact that you bother about it, that you worry about it, does not change the situation. What changes the situation for us as children of God is that we know there is God, right? We are confident in that. We work in that light, knowing that, see, come what to me, right? God can never fail us. Yes, is there delay? There's delay. Is there problem? There's problem. Is there challenge? There is challenge. But me, the God that I know cannot fail. Whatsoever happens, right? Everything is going to get better. And that's why I am always reminded of what God says to me in Jeremiah 29:11. Oh, Sheyi, you have a very good future. It's all settled in God. I may not know what or what tomorrow holds. Yeah, I may not know what tomorrow holds. What it feels like, if it's going to rain tomorrow, I don't know. But what do I know? I know God, and God holds tomorrow. That's enough assurance. It is covered. But you cannot have certain assurance if you do not even communicate with this God, if you do not read scriptures, if you do not pray, if you do not spend time with God. If you pay attention to what are those things that stirs your heart, what problems do you struggle to ignore? For me, it was finding it difficult to ignore children who were not going to school. Started the things that I started to do because I saw that, oh, so what kind of work leaves you very fulfilled? My work gives me a lot of fulfillment. Like if you think that I'm angry with you, you have done something. Meet me at the point of my work. You just know that me and you will settle because my work gives me joy. And I just get it done and I move on with my life. And then I know that this what is difficult for other people, but it feels really easy for you. I'm going to come to you for. I can tell you things that people will come to me for because they know that this is what she is probably going to fix. They probably will not meet another person for it. And they know that, oh, she is able to do this because of certain things that she had, right? You do not have to figure out your entire future today. I think I said this earlier. It will not happen in one day. Right now, even as I speak to you, maybe you're all gingered and you're very excited about the fact that I'm talking about this and a whole lot of other things that about to do. It wouldn't happen in one day. You would have to build and build. Even when there are challenges, you try out some things. They would work. They would not work at some point. I'm a soft skill person, so you cannot see me. For example, sitting down in a bakery, say that I want to bake bread. Even if I know how to bake it, I'm not going to stay there. I like to explore. So you will find me on the field moving, bring work for me that can make me think or make me stay creative for a time. Remember, I told you that there was a time in my life that I went to learn how to make necklace and earring. I was supposed to spend 3 months to learn. I spent 1 month. I was good at it by that 1 month that I spent, but I will not even lie to you. I ran away by the end of that 1 month because I'm not the kind of person that would sit down and be learning that kind of thing for so long. Mm-mm. I want something that would make me move around. I cannot stay in one place. I want something that I meet with children, I meet with women and girls, we have conversation. I do certain things, or I write, or I speak, and then it makes sense to me. So start by being faithful with what God has already placed in your hands. And here I'm going to talk about excellence. It is not negotiable. You have to be big on excellence. See, let's let there be other things flying about you, yeah. But quality, I'm going to use myself to talk about you. But what I would tell you is ensure that your work excellence, when it's your name, people just know that you're going to do a good work. People give you something to do and they can go to sleep because they know they will wake up to the fact that you have done it. That's little. That's when you get big things. If somebody can entrust you with something small and you do it, how it starts. Young people these days want mentorship, and they're like, okay, I mean, this person, I want them to mentor me. And that person gives you an assignment. Go and write something, come up with it, 1 page, 2 weeks, and you want mentorship. How is it going to work? That's a small task the person has given you, but you've not done it. Serve of finding your purpose is going to come from you serving. And if you do not serve, you might not be able to find purpose. You would have to serve to find purpose. Learn. It is not, you cannot finish learning. You have to keep learning. And you do not become that person who has finished learning everything. I think the one thing that I do or I tell people around me is I ask a lot of questions, and it's because I want to learn. Be a learner for life. Be a learner for the rest of your life. Accept challenges, learn new things, and be better at the things that you do. Learn something. You do not need to know everything in the world, but you need to know something about everything. If you got that, yeah. Show up consistently. There are a lot of people doing things, but it's not the way. So how consistent you are is how close you get to your purpose or building that purpose that you want. So the next step becomes visible only after you have taken the first one. If you're climbing the stairs, you start one. If you don't climb one, you're probably not going to see number three. So as you go, it gets better and you keep moving. I'll tell you something that I want to be remembered for. And maybe that is it for you as well. Because for me, it feels really cool, right? I hope that people remember that I made room for others to become who God created them to be. And that is basically ensuring that you make room for other people to use their talent, to use their gifts. That is something I want to be remembered for. So when people think about me and they say, oh, Seyi Bolaji, and they would like, oh, that girl, that that girl who made room for others to become who God wanted them to be. Not because of my name, not because of the awards that I have. I don't even have enough of it yet. I'm still pursuing some of them and I will get it by God's grace, right? All the achievements. This is not yes, I have moved from where I used to be to where I am right now, but this is not the end of my journey. My story is still on. There are things I want to get. I have not gotten it yet. I will get it by the grace of God. God will do it. God will make it happen, right? But leave those things aside. It would be because I used every influence, every platform that I have or opportunity God has entrusted into my hand to open door for someone else, for a girl, for a boy, for everybody that comes my way. So if a girl stayed in school because of something that I built or that we built, if a young person discovers purpose or finds their confidence or themselves because someone believed in them, let it be me. If a child gets to dream because someone showed them kindness, I want it to be me, I would consider that a life well spent. If I have done that, I feel like I have done my work on this earth, and that just makes sense. But at the end of it all, I hope that my story points people not to me, but then it points them to God. Because God is the one who makes people. God is the one who lifts people. If you do not stay with God in all of this achievement, there'll be problem. Oh. I know you are seeing people that are very good. You don't have God. Me and we're not doing that conversation right now. It's okay. Me, all I have depended on all my life is God. Do I work? Yes, I work. Do I work hard? I do. Do I work smart? Yes, I do. Do I read? I do. Do I spend time learning about the things that I do? Yes, I do. But ultimately, I cannot do all of those things if God doesn't empower me to do that, if I do not stay with God, which is my absolute source of success. And with God, there's good success. I know that success can be different things for different people, but with God, but most importantly, I want to be remembered for that girl who does not just point people to herself, but she points people to God. And for somebody that when ordinary people, because God is the one who makes ordinary people do extraordinary things. And so when they choose to serve, So, what is that extraordinary thing that you get to do? For me, one extraordinary thing I want to be is that, oh, I made room for this person to become who God wants them to be. I think I'm going to stop here for now. Yeah, but in all, I hope that you find purpose. I don't want to give you just how I started from my childhood, but it's just been a whole lot of journey getting here. I'm not done. My journey is still far. But yeah, God, in it all, at the middle of it, at the end of it, at the beginning of it, God. Stay with God. Thank you.
All right, Ma. Thank you so much. We are truly blessed by what you said. Like you really inspire me a lot. I'm not going to
Okay,
lie.
so I'll just say something before we proceed, right, and get to have that. I would say if you are looking to find purpose,
Yes, Ma.
make sure that you look at those things again that I said. What comes really easy for you? That's maybe it's not easy for other people. What are those things? That's how you begin to know. So you're not struggling to do them. You're not but it just makes sense that this is what it is. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you so much, Ma. We really appreciate your all what you done for us, your time and everything. Um, it's so nice having you on this space, and we really appreciate. Without wasting time, we would round up at this place. So, if you're joining Gospel Entertainment Network for the very first time, Gospel Entertainment Network is a sensational Christian podcast where we talk about life issues, Christian matters.
My device, I can hear you, and then I had to connect with my mobile phone, but I could
Oh,
hear you from my mobile phone. So
okay,
that's okay, I
okay,
guess.
perfect. All right, no problem. So, like I was saying, I was introducing what Gospel Entertainment Network is all about, and we all do Christian stuff. We have a lot of people that are into um, have a lot of questions to talk about Christianity and individuals at large, but then we talk about Christian matters, how it's relating to ourselves at large, right? But here we have a question. We have a question for you. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I can hear you from my other device, so that works. You can proceed.
All right, ma. So somebody asked a question and it says, can someone have more than one purpose? Can someone have more than one purpose?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can.
If you can hear me, just let me know so I could just continue speaking.
Yes, yes, we can. We can hear you. Hmm. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'll just get right at the question and hoping that the person is going to get my response while I speak and while I continue talking about that. And the question is, can someone have more than one purpose? So eventually you're going to, like I mentioned, you're going to get to do a number of things to arrive at what it is exactly that you want to do with your life. It would look like it's different things. But at the end of the day, when you try to put it together, you're going to see that it points you to one thing, which is what you've been called to do. Because if you're everywhere, there's going to be problem, right? And that's why you see that there are people who are successful. They do this, they do that, but it's all wrapped up in one thing, what they want to do with their life. So if I would maybe tell you one sentence about what my purpose is, it would be one sentence linked to the three things that I do currently, but I would tell you that it's one for me, summed up together in one thing. Three things, but summed up together in one thing. So you cannot be having different purposes, if I would call it that. But yeah, one purpose, there could be different things, but as you go, you begin to narrow it down, narrow it down, narrow it down until it looks like it. And then, yeah, that's what you want to do with your life. You get it done. I hope this answers your question. Thank you.
All right, ma. Thank you so much, ma. We'll be leaving you by this time. Thank you. We really appreciate. Thank you for your time. We love you. Thank you so much, ma.